So let's say you have a brilliant idea for a video. You flesh it into a script, grab your camera or an iPhone and head out to shoot. You come back thinking you've got some amazing footages and get to editing it, only to realize that you've forgotten half of the shots you needed. Maybe a close-up of your product, or maybe a B-roll of how it gets used, or simply a footage of a customer using your product. If this is something that has happened to you, you know how painful this can be. And the easiest way to never ever find yourself in a spot like this is to create a good storyboard. So in this video, we'll walk you through 2 simple ways for how you can create an effective storyboard for your videos. The first one is more visual and the second one involves describing your scenes in the form of a text. Sounds fun? Let's jump right in. Let's start with the first way, which is a lot more common among creators and filmmakers, which is using stick figures and illustrations to bring out your scene. One big disclaimer I'd like to give you before you start to panic is that you don't have to be a great sketch artist to storyboard. In fact, just drawing simple shapes denoting different objects can get your point across. Here's legendary director Martin Scorsese using extremely basic stick figures to illustrate his scenes and plan them out. So the emphasis here is that it's okay to not create great looking sketches, but to create a reference board of sorts that can help you structure your shooting and your editing process. Now before we jump into the parts that make up a storyboard, you'd want to use the link in the description to download a free storyboard template from Studio Binder that you can use to follow along. And you'd also want to give this video a like so that we keep bringing you such videos. Okay, so let's start with the first component of a storyboard, the panel or the frame itself. The panel is the rectangle proxy for what your audience is going to see. Panels come in a bunch of different shapes, so make sure you pick one that matches the aspect ratio in which you're going to shoot or edit your video in. So for example, if you're creating a YouTube video, you'd want your panel to be 16:9. But if you're creating a Facebook ad, you'd want it to be 1:1. Once your panel size is locked, it's time to pay attention to how you would want to put your subjects in each frame. This will decide your composition and will also guide you with the kind of angles and shot you would want to use when you're actually shooting your videos. For example, a person drawn really small in the panel intuitively denotes a long shot. On the other hand, drawing just the eyes of your subject would imply a super close-up shot. So if you're creating an ad and want a close-up of the brand name or the label, you can just draw that out in the panel. How you're seeing the subject from the panel will also denote the angle that you want to shoot your scene from. For example, if you have a scene where you want to show your subject talking to the camera, like in a vlog, you'd want to draw him at eye level. On the other hand, if you want to show your point of view when you're looking at your feet on a beach, you'll want to draw this from a top angle. You can also indicate motion in your frames with the help of arrows. Let's say you want to indicate that your subject moves from left to right in the frame. You can draw an arrow pointing to the right next to the subject. There are no fixed rules to using arrows. The only thing that you would want to ensure is that they're easy to read and they tell you exactly what motion to expect in that shot. Now, if you want to add more detailing to your shots, you can add arrows inside your panel to indicate the movement of your characters, or around the edges to indicate camera movements, like pan or zoom. Again, you can always detail this out with the text next to your arrow or below your panel to add more clarity and avoid any confusion while shooting your footages. Okay, now let's come to the second way you can use to storyboard your videos. That is, through a written instruction that go hand in hand with the script detailing how you want your visuals to be. You can use the storyboard for when you're creating short-form bite-sized content like a 30-second Instagram ad or a quick promo video for your brand. We'll use a promo video we created last year to take you through the steps. If your video has a voiceover that'll form your entire script, you'd want to first flesh out your voiceover text as we did here. Next, you'd want to split these scenes based on when you imagine your visuals to change. For instance, in our video, we imagined the visual of the astronaut to be there throughout our first 3 lines of the text, and hence, they will be combined into scene 1. Our second line needed to have a separate visual that showcases how we only got a few views, so that became our second scene, and so on and so forth. Now, there could be instances where you'd want multiple clips to play in the same line of a text. For instance, a montage. and that should be okay, since you'd be able to add those in the next steps. Once we have our voiceover script separated into scenes like this, you can then go in and add 2 more layers of details. A. What is the visual imagery you are expecting to play out here? B. Is there any text that you want displayed on the screen, like a discount code or a CTA or some text that is important and needs to be on the screen? So for instance, in the last few scenes of our video, we wanted to emphasize certain parts of the voiceover since they were the key takeaways we wanted people to remember. So we added them as supers and along with the visual imagery we needed. The last and the final layer of detail you may want to add is the audio. If there's any specific way you want the music to kick in, or if there are any sound effects you may want to add to your video. And there you have it. You now have a scene-by-scene breakdown of the video that you exactly know how you want to shoot or edit it. In fact, this framework can even work well if you're looking to create stock footage-based videos or motion graphic-based videos. All you've got to do is change the details you mention with regards to the visual imagery for each scene, and you're good to go. We're dropping in a link to this template in the description so that you can refer to it as you build your storyboard. Which of these 2 ways did you find out to be easier? Let us know in the comments below along with any questions you may have with regards to turning your scripts into storyboard. And if you want to learn more about how you can master visual storytelling in your videos, you may want to check out this video where we run you through 5 key steps on how you can create cinematic videos.
Đăng ký dùng thử miễn phí phần mềm tạo video tại trang web invideo.design.